Hey everybody, welcome back to Coding Out Loud, the channel where instead of building contrived examples, we build real products. And today we're going to be working again on Stub Squad stuff. So the stuff we're going to be working on today is setting up Laravel Cashier, which is a package that allows for integration with the Stripe payment processing service. The reason we're doing this is in the last stream we talked about setting up Lemon Squeezy, but after we applied for an account there, they got back to us and basically said that they only support stores where Lemon Squeezy can provide their fulfillment. So for example, like if you have a ebook, you would upload the ebook to Lemon Squeezy, and then as people pay for it, they can deliver it, basically ensuring that the person gets what they paid for. Because what we're doing is looking for enabling a service. Once that the payment has gone through, then they can't guarantee that that's happening, and so they see that as a risk, and they don't want to basically take on that risk, which is fine. That's their business model. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to use Stripe. I say unfortunately, I've used them in the past. They work fine, but there are plenty of horror stories of people basically saying like Stripe held on to thousands of dollars of my account while they were doing an investigation and we never got the money back. So Stripe is definitely not my long-term best option, but to get this marketplace live, we basically just have to go with Stripe for now, and then we can worry about doing another payment provider in the future kind of thing. So what are we going to do? Number one, we're going to obviously install the Laravel Cashier package. We're going to configure the package to talk to Stripe. We're going to set up a product, so basically like a marketplace listing or something like that. We're going to go through the payment flow. We're going to confirm that payment is successful through this payment flow. And then we're going to confirm that the user, if they are sent to Stripe, because I've never used this package, I'm not exactly sure how it works. We want to make sure that they're redirected back to our app. So all that I've done right now is I've removed the Lemon Squeezy stuff from our app, obviously. And then I've gone in and I've configured the three environment variables. So like the Stripe key, the Stripe secret, and the Stripe webhook secret or webhook string or whatever it's called. But other than that, I haven't installed the package or anything. So we're going to be going through this together. I've never used this package before, so I don't know how in depth it is. This might be a 5-10 minute stream. It could be a couple hours. I've got kind of all night, so I'm in no rush to go anywhere. So I would like to have this done by the end of the day, if at all possible, unless we're just running into problems. But I think knowing what I know about the Laravel team and how they build their packages, this shouldn't be too onerous to get set up. So yeah, let's just get started. So this is the Laravel docs for the Cashier package. Now they do have Cashier for Paddle as well, but Paddle has the same issue as Lemon Squeezy, where they want to be the ones who perform some of the fulfillment, I believe, based on what I was reading. I could be wrong with that, but I've used Stripe in the past, so I'm like vaguely familiar with it. So we're just going to use that. So Laravel Cashier Stripe provides an expressive, fluent interface to Stripe's subscription billing services. They say subscription billing services, but they do one-off products as well. I do know that for a fact. Upgrading Cashier, we're not upgrading. So first we want to install the package. So we'll copy that and we will go to this folder and composer require it. Okay. After installing the package, publish Cashier's migrations using the vendor publish command. Cool. Okay. Migrate our database. Migrate. Oh, okay. So maybe I installed this package in previously and did that. Okay, that's good. Okay, so Cashier's migrations will add several columns to your user table. They will also create a new subscriptions table to hold all of your customer subscriptions and a subscription item table for subscriptions with multiple prices. Okay, that's fine. If you wish, you can also publish Cashier's configuration file using the vendor publish. I don't think we need to. Lastly, to ensure Cashier properly handles all Stripe events, remember to configure Cashier's webhook handling. Okay, so handling Stripe webhooks. Stripe can notify your application of a variety of events via webhooks. By default, a route that points to Cashier's webhook controller is automatically registered by the Cashier service provider, blah, blah, blah. This controller will handle all incoming webhook requests. By default, automatically handle canceling subscriptions that have too many failed charges. Okay. Customer updates, deletions, subscription updates, blah, blah, blah. However, as we'll soon discover, you can extend this controller to handle any Stripe webhook event that you like. Okay. So we can, I think right now, okay, so we'll have to go into add it to the ignore validate CSRF tokens. So let's go do that right now. So we'll go, pardon me. Which one is that? The app. Bootstrap that app. Now I think that's actually from, yeah, that's the new Laravel 11, which we have not upgraded to yet. So I'm just trying to remember, I think it's the verify CSRF token. Yes. So we want to change this to Stripe. Cool. Okay. Defining webhook event handlers. Okay. So we're just going to ignore the webhook stuff right now. We might not need that. I'm not sure how this all works. So let's just see what happens. Okay. So before using Cashier, add the billable trait to your billable model definition. Okay. So we will go to our user model. Okay. And we'll say use billable. Yep. Okay. Will be that model user. Yeah, that's fine. If we should change that, we're not changing it, so that's fine. API keys. Okay, so these are the three that I've set: the Stripe key, the Stripe secret, and the Stripe webhook secret. Those have been set in the env file, so we can just kind of go over that. Not going to worry about currency right now. It defaults to USD. At some point, we might change that to Canadian dollars, but for right now, I'm just fine saying $10 US. Okay, that's fine. Tax configuration. You can enable automatic tax calculation by invoking the calculate taxes method in the boot method of your applications. Yeah, okay, so that's cool. So app service provider in boot. We want to say cashier calculate taxes. Cool. Once tax calculation has been enabled, any new subscriptions and any one-off invoices that are generated will receive automatic tax calculation. Good stuff. Your customer's billing details, blah, blah, blah. You mean use the customer data synchronization, tax ID. Okay, we're not going to worry about that right now. Logging is fine. Okay, using custom models. We're not going to use custom models. We're just going to basically do this as bog standard as we can here. Okay, so selling products. So this is kind of what we're going to be doing. Like, it's not a physical product, but it's just like a one-off purchase kind of thing. It's not a subscription. And so that's what the products are going to be used for. So before utilizing Stripe checkout, you should define products with fixed prices in your Stripe dashboard. In addition, you should configure Cashier's webhook handling. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so let's go to our Stripe dashboard. Okay, we're in test mode. Good. Where are manage our products? Okay, cool. So let's change this one. So let's edit product. Squad slot. Yep. And let's edit the price. Okay, so one off. Yep. Flat rate. Is it not letting us change this? This price was used in transaction tax behavior. Okay, so we're going to just delete this product because this was, oh, right. Edit product. Can we get that picture? Probably not, right? Darn. So if we go to stubsquad.test, there was a way to do like a proper square with the screenshot tool here. That looks about, oh, I guess we can do. Cool. Okay. So yeah, so let's go to the product catalog. Let's delete. Oh, we can't even delete the product. Yes, we want to archive it. We basically just want to start from scratch here. So add product, and we're going to say Stub Squad, no, Marketplace, Squad, Slot, Desktop, general electronically supplied services. Yep. List as many slots in have a spare slot. Your squad. List it here. Okay. So it is a one-off charge. We are going to be charging USD for now, and we're going to say $9.99. Include tax and price. Yes. No, sorry, no. We do not include the tax and price. Okay. More pricing options. Do we need to worry about this stuff? No. Flat rate. That's fine. And we want this USD. Okay, so add product. Okay, so we have the product. Oops. Let's go back here. Okay, so selling products. Okay, so to charge customers for non-recurring single charge products, we'll utilize Cashier to direct customers to Stripe checkout, where they will provide their payment details and confirm their purchase. Once the payment has been made via checkout, the customer will be redirected to a success URL of your choosing within your application. Okay, so these are some routes. So route view checkout success, route success view checkout cancel. As you can see in the example above, we'll utilize Cashier's provided checkout method to redirect the customer to Stripe checkout for a given price identifier. So we'll have to figure out what that price identifier is. When using Stripe, prices refer to defined prices for specific products. Okay. If necessary, the checkout method will automatically create a customer in Stripe and connect that Stripe customer record to the corresponding user in your application's database. After completing the checkout session, the customer will be redirected to a dedicated success or cancellation page where you can display an informational page to the customer. When selling products, it's common to keep track of completed orders and purchased products via cart and order models defined by your own application. When redirecting customers to Stripe checkout to complete a purchase, you may need to provide an existing order identifier. We're not worrying about that. So that you can associate the completed purchase with the corresponding order when the customer is redirected back to your application. You may provide an array of metadata to the checkout method. Let's imagine that a pending order is created within our application. So this is where we're going to, so for our metadata, what we will do is we'll send the season ID, which is a UUID. And so, or the ticket season, sorry, which is a UUID. So that I'm assuming that when they get kicked back, this is included in that, in the kind of the success message, so that we know that we can now mark that ticket season as being paid and they can continue to list their stuff on the marketplace. We also provide the orders ID to the Stripe checkout session via the metadata array. Okay. Pardon me. Okay, so let's just start at the top here. So at the moment, what we're going to do is we're just going to hand bomb a bunch of stuff, and we're just going to copy literally exactly what they've got here, to just to see what it looks like, really, and then we can kind of figure out stuff later. Okay, so save that. Stripe price ID. Price deluxe album. Okay, and so if we go back to our Stripe thing here, if we go to edit product, is there like an ID here? Edit price. No. Product ID. Okay, so the price is apparently supposed to have a, oh, the price ID. Okay, here we go. Oops. Okay, so the price ID is that. Okay. And if we just go to /checkout, I just want to see what's going to happen here. Probably nothing good, but we will try it anyways. I just want to see what happens. Go checkout. Too few arguments to the function, router view, and at least 2 expected. Now, is this assuming Laravel 11? It is. I'm curious if that's different for Laravel 10. And scroll down here. No, it's the same. So checkout.success and checkout.cancel. Okay, so let's say success. Checkout cancel. And it would appear that these views are not just included. So we can just, let's just go like this, function. Return, I don't know. Success, true. We'll say this, return success false, sure. Just for right now, just so we have something. Okay, so we will log in. Is this? Why is that not logging us in? Okay, so if we go to checkout, where does it send us? Cool. Okay, so it is showing the right thing here. So it's showing that we have a squad slot for $9.99. Okay, and so let's just enter in a fake credit card. I assume this one's going to work. 1228. I don't think so we're in test mode, so I think any credit card will work. Otherwise, we'll have to go to the Stripe site and actually find the exact fake credit card they ask for. We'll say GT, and we'll say T or G5. Not now, we don't want to save it. This is just a fake thing. Cool. Okay, so it went back. Okay, so log analytic data cookie when consented. Must be of type string, closure given. So that's interesting. Okay, so now out of curiosity, do we see product catalog, blah, 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 payments? Cool. Okay, so we do have a payment that went through, air quotes here. Okay, so then why is this failing? Okay, so I assume this is, okay, so that sends the, must be of type string closure given. Pipeline, dispatch. Yeah, so it's having an issue with the view. It's okay. Okay, so that's why. New, so let's say route get. Okay, so so success true, perfect. Okay, and if, okay, so if we go to stubsquad.test/checkout again. Now, if we put in an incorrect number, card number is invalid, of course. Let's just do like I wonder if. Okay, so here's what I want to make sure of is I want to make sure that so we got the success working, right? Like it sent us to the correct view. But what I also want to make sure is if someone enters the incorrect credit card number, that they're going to get redirected to a page that basically tells them that. So let's go take a look at developers. Test invalid card. Test clocks, no. Developers, no. Events, logs, no. Where is the documentation? So test card. Okay, API reference maybe. Payment methods, cards. No, these are just like the literal API endpoints. Developer tools. Start an integration, payment scenario, other Stripe products. Okay, so test card successful payment. So what I want, test card failed payment. Okay, this is perfect. This is exactly what I want. Okay, so let's go back here and let's put in that card. And we'll say JT Smith and we'll create a postal code. Okay, so pay. No, not now. Credit card was declined. Okay, try paying with a debit card instead. Okay, so it's not actually going to send us back here right now. So that's interesting. Test card. Okay, so yeah, use a valid, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so these are all the valid cards. Cards by country, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so stolen card decline, export. So let's try this one, processing error decline. Error occurred while processing your payment. Try again later or with a different payment method. Okay, so it looks like if it fails, it's just going to come back to the Stripe page. It's not actually ever going to send us back to us. But is there a way to like cancel the payment? If we go back, where does it send us? Okay, so it's the cancel that is what that page is. Okay, so that's fine. We can handle that in a bit. So we want to okay, so that's going to be the price ID. So what do we need to do? Quantity 1, user checkout, blah blah blah. What I also want to do is if we take in the request, request all, I want to see what we actually get back from this, from the API. So let's say someone does have a successful checkout. We'll use the working card here. And we'll say 12, 28, whatever. JT Smith. Okay, whatever. Okay, so let's pay. No, we don't want to save it. Okay, so we get redirect back here. So there's nothing in the request. Interesting. So okay, so running metadata. Okay, so what we also need to do is send the metadata. Let's go back here and we will add metadata. We're going to say ticket season ID, and we're just going to make up one for right now. UUID. Oh. UUID, sure. That'll just, we just want to see if this UUID is going to show up back in this request, or if it only comes through in the webhook, which is possible and probably the more secure thing, so that someone can't just fake it out. But let's, like, I want to make sure first that we're not just making a bad assumption. JT, whatever. Wow. No. Okay. Process that. Okay. So yeah, still nothing. It's hard to see, but there is nothing up there. I guess can I zoom in with this? No, can't. Okay. So obviously we need to be listening for the webhook. So how do we do that with these? Okay, so now one of the things that Stripe suggested we do is have this webhook. So this is the Stripe API coming through here. So let's go localhost. So forward to, what do we want to do? We want to forward it to stubsquad.test/checkout/success. Is that the same one? 583A3F. Yeah, we're going to assume this is the right one. Okay, failed to post, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so actually what we want is this webhook URL. And obviously this doesn't exist right now. That's fine. Why is that not working? Webhook. Okay, cool. Yeah, those look both the same. No digits change. Okay, so we need to create the the webhook URL. So we'll say route post webhook. And again, we're gonna make this better. We just want to see what's coming through here. So we want to take in a request, and we will return request all. Okay, so again, I don't know if this is going to work. We will try it out and see what happens. Okay, so nothing came through there, but that might be okay. Let's take a look. Okay, so it did go through this time. Charge succeeded, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I think what we'll do then is we will, for now, again, we'll just log so info, because eventually we're going to have to implement our own webhook to like actually figure out what we're going to do with it. In our case, we're going to mark the listing as being paid, but for right now, we just want to have something that's showing that it exists or that it's happening. So let's go rm storage logs Laravel. Okay. And then we will open, once we touch storage logs Laravel.log. Storage logs Laravel.log. Now, I'm not sure about NeoVim if it'll actually dump stuff in here properly. We'll give it a shot. I have no idea if it'll even allow that. No, it's not a legitimate postal code. That should work now. Yep. Okay, so let's pay that. And nothing showed up there. Okay. It got the successful webhook, so let's close that. Nothing's even in there. Okay. It's empty. So post blah blah blah. Oh, because it's sending it to the HTTP and it's redirecting. So we don't want that. I want it to be like, I wonder if it'll even save. Okay, it'll accept that. Okay. Okay, we'll do this again. Okay, 419, right? Because we want to, okay, so the reason that's happening is because the 419 is, it doesn't have the CSRF token. So temporarily what we'll do is, actually what we can do is this. In the web, we will call this Stripe webhook. In fact, before I do that, are there any built-in webhook routes that come with? There are Stripe webhook. Okay, so in fact, what we can do then is we can go back here, control that. Oops. Okay, so that should now go to the correct webhook. What I'm not sure about is what actually happens with that. So we'll just see what we get. So stub squad.test/checkout. Okay. Sure, Kazakhstan, whatever. Okay, so what did we get there? Post, 200 post. Okay, so we have a successful checkout. That's good. What we don't know is what's happening to it. So let's go read the docs. Okay, so selling subscriptions, don't care about that. Okay, so building a subscribed middleware. Okay, so what do we do when we have this web request or the webhook? Okay, so payment methods, don't care about that right now. Subscriptions, subscription quantity, handling Stripe webhooks. Okay, so here we go. Stripe can notify your application of a variety of events via webhooks, automatically registered by the cashier service provider. Okay, will automatically handle canceling subscriptions, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so it accepts all these. Okay, that's fine. This command will create a webhook in Stripe that listens to all the events required by cashier. Okay. By default, the created webhook will, okay, that's fine. The webhook that is created will use the Stripe API version. Okay. Okay, so we've done the CSRF stuff. Okay, so Cashier automatically handles subscription cancellations for failed charges and webhook events that you would like to handle, blah, blah, blah. Okay, both events contain the full payload of the Stripe webhook. Okay, so we need to I'd like to make a one-time charge against customer. You may provide the charge method as a billable model on the instance. We'll need to provide a payment method identifier as a second argument to the charge method. Okay, so we're probably not going to do that because we're not going to be storing this stuff. Charge with invoice, no. Creating payment intents. Okay, so that's going to create an invoice. We don't care about that. Invoices, refunds, don't care about any of that. Okay, so basically what we need to be doing is, so we're going to use the listener. We're going to create a listener that says when we get this webhook received, we're going to do the thing, right? We're going to mark so if, like, obviously if the payment succeeded, we will mark the ticket season as the listing as being paid, and then redirect the person back to the season. So let us do this. We're going to, in fact, one thing I want to check now that I'm thinking about this is SQLAs. I think when I was thinking about this originally, we were going to have this marketplace listings, and this is where it was going to be paid. But because this record won't actually exist until after it's been paid, like this record won't exist until you've paid. We actually need to remove the is paid field from the marketplace listings. Pardon me, and we'll add the same field on the ticket season. So this will be the check to see if you can proceed into creating a marketplace listing. So let's do that first. Let's go to our shell and say art make migration, move the is paid field from the marketplace listings table to the ticket seasons table, and we'll say table equals marketplace listings. Okay. So we will move the is paid field. Okay, so we are going to actually do two things here. We're going to yank that. We're going to double it up because we're going to do this one here, this table is going to be ticket seasons. Ticket seasons. Okay, so we're going to say table drop column is paid. Yep. Table Boolean is paid is false. Correct. And then we're going to do the same thing down here where we're going to yank this and we're going to paste it. And we're going to say, so we actually don't need to do anything for the ticket seasons table here. Actually, yes, we do, because this is the back out. So we are going to say ticket seasons. Yep. And so here we're going to say table Boolean is paid false and table drop column is paid. Cool. So now we have the inverse. So if we ever have to go backwards, it'll just flip things back to how they were, which is exactly what we want. So, okay. So the other thing we need to do is marketplace listing test. And we will, I don't know if I actually had any tests here. It knows if it's already been paid. Okay, so good stuff. So we can just delete this and put this in our ticket season test. Ticket season test. Scroll down to the bottom here. Knows if it has been paid already. And so instead of search, we're just going to say season equals ticket season. Yep. Okay, expect. Okay. And so the other thing we need to do is in our ticket season model, mark as paid. Oops. Mark as paid. Is that not what it's called? Oh no, it would be on the marketplace listing, so we can go into there and place listing, and we will mark as paid. So this can be deleted out of here, and into the ticket season we will put it. Okay, so mark season is paid. Okay, so this test should now pass. Knows asserting that null is false. Ticket season test 292. Expect season is paid to be false. Right, ticket season factory. So we're going to say is paid is defaulting to false. And then also in the marketplace listing factory, we can get rid of that. Okay. It's going to be like that, is it? Okay. We'll just run our whole test suite. Okay, so we have passing tests, that's fine. So, so now what we want to do is we want to create a listener that's basically going to listen for this webhook being called with the, I assume it's going to be that invoice payment succeeded. I don't see, none of these other ones seem to be correct. We're not doing a subscription, so we don't need to worry about that. We're not updating customers. We don't care about any of that. We just literally care if someone has paid for the season, that's fine. So let's go create that listener. So we will say art make listener marketplace listing payment succeeded. Actually, you know what? Let's make this more generic for now. We'll just call it Stripe, just like they have Stripe event listener. Fine. Okay, so Stripe event listener. Yep. That's fine. We don't want it to queue because we want it to run inline. As soon as we get that call, we want it to do this thing. So we're not going to do this queuing for this specific one. Pardon me. And so for the handle method, we are going to say, so we're going to make sure that this is a webhook received. And how do they have this? So if event payload type, yep, equals, triple equals, yeah, invoice dot payment succeeded. And here's what we want to do. So at this point, again, I just want to log out what we're actually getting in this event so that we can pull the right thing off, get the ticket season ID, and then we can like basically do a lookup, find that season, and mark it as paid. So we'll say just log info, and we're just going to dump out this whole event. I want to know everything that we got on there. Log, yep. Okay, so now if we are looking at the event log, okay, that's going to be lots. Okay, so let's go. Delete that. Okay, so, and it does update automatically, so that's good to know. So checkout. Let's go to get our fake credit card number. That one. 28, whatever. Okay, and let's pay. And so now, once this goes through, there should be something in the logs that's no. Okay, so why did that not show up? Oh, because we didn't register the listener. Duh. Event service provider. So we need to listen for, which event are we listening for? Webhook received, right? Webhook received class, and this is going to be the Stripe event listener. So why did it not? Okay, let's go through this again. Okay, one more time. So hopefully now this is listening for the correct thing. And is there anything in the log? No, why not? Okay, so this time it should have worked. Stripe webhook, it got a 200. Stripe event listener. Okay, so it's listening there. Webhook received, Stripe event listener. Okay, so why would that not be showing up? Oh, because we're okay. So here was the issue, is so we're listening for the, I think it was like invoice charge completed or something. We want to look for this in that event, not the one that was in the example. So let's try that. Charge succeeded. That's because that's what we really want, is we want to know when the charge succeeded. It's not, we're not doing an invoice. So, you know what? Let's also do payment intent succeeded. So we're going to get hopefully a couple of logs in there if this goes through correctly. So let's go check out again, the right credit card. Zoom in there. Okay, did we miss anything? No. Okay, object of class webhook cannot be converted into string. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so at least we're getting stuff. Obviously, it doesn't have a way to kind of dump out like convert the webhook event to or webhook received event to a string, which is fine. At least we're now getting stuff. So how do we pull off data from the webhook? Because basically now what we're looking for is that metadata that we were setting. So right now we're just like hard coding the season ID, but basically what we want to make sure is that like we're getting like we're marking the correct, or we're able to find the right ticket season and then mark it as paid, right? So we need to be able to pull that off. And so I'm assuming there's got to be some kind of like piece of data in the webhook that show like that dumps out that payload. Okay, so let's take a look. Payload type. Let's try logging the event payload because that should just be like the data coming off it, I would expect. Cool. So there's the payment coming through. Awesome. Okay, so we are looking for that, the metadata that we assigned. Receipt URL, blah, blah, blah. Idempotency key, that's not the one, I don't believe. Where is, yeah, so it should be starting DCC. And this one is not starting DCC. Metadata, okay, so, yeah, so that's interesting. So it's not returning the metadata that we sent with it, which is unfortunate. Payment method details, don't care about any of that. The charge succeeded. This is the payment intent succeeded. And yeah, it's unfortunate that it's not. Okay, so let's go back to the docs for a sec and search for metadata. Nope. Metadata. Okay, so you may provide an array of metadata to the checkout method. Let's imagine that a pending order is created within our application. Yeah, and so they have it right here. Checkout. Now, am I not sending it in the right format? Let's take a look. Checkout, Stripe price, quantity, blah, blah, blah. Return. Price IDs. Success URL, metadata, ticket season ID. Yeah, this is exactly what we have here. I mean, we're hard coding this right now, but it should still send it back. Pardon me. Finally, we've added the template variable to the checkout success route. When Stripe redirects customers back to your application, this template variable will automatically be populated with the checkout session ID. Okay, there's no dash in metadata, so I'm not doing that incorrectly, right? No dash. There's nothing after that, so it's just not attaching that metadata that we sent. So it's like it's sending an array of nothing back. And it's not scrollable. It's not like it's wrapping or something. Okay, let's go look. Laravel, Stripe, Cashier, not returning metadata. Customer subscription created webhook event. Okay, so what are the other ones here? Payment intent created. Checkout session completed. I mean, at this point, we can just play around and see. In fact, let's just, for right now, we're not even going to care which webhook it's hitting. Like, we're not doing anything with it right now anyways. We're not marking anything as paid, so it doesn't really matter. So let's save that. Let's go back here and let's go through here and we'll get all of the, because there's like six or seven different events that happen there. So let's just find, we'll kind of log all of them and see what they get from any of them. So this should populate in a second here. Okay, so no metadata here. No metadata here. Nothing in this metadata. Nothing in this metadata. Okay, so here we go. So here's the one that we want. So what is this? Which webhook is this? Checkout session completed. Okay. So what we want is in this event listener, undo that. We're going to paste that. Okay, so this is the event that we want. And so now what we can say is, so if we go back here, so what is the data we're looking for? So we're looking for the, let's close this. So let's say, instead of logging this, let's just log, we're going to say log info, ticket season, find event payload, data, metadata, ticket season ID. So what this should do is it should find the ticket season ID. Actually, and that's not even the right value now that I'm saying this out loud. It should be the UUID. So we want, let's just take this, this ticket season ID, and we're going to paste that in here. And in this, we are going to say where UUID is that. Give us the first or fail. Okay, so we're going to get this ticket season ID, which is going to be this hard-coded one. It should give us the actual season now. And again, we will make this dynamic. Like we're not always, obviously we're not going to hard code this, but again, just for testing purposes, it's just easier to do it like bit by bit here. At least I find it to be. So we got a card, we have a date, this, and pay. Cool. So in our logs, we should now have a ticket season. Undefined array key metadata. Okay, what did I do wrong here? Data, oh, data object metadata. Data. Does it go any deeper? Data object metadata. Yeah. Ticket season ID. Okay, so let's do this one more time. Actually, let's clear out this log. Okay. And there's the ticket season that we need. Perfect. Okay. So now what we can do, all this is to basically say, okay, so we're going to yank this out of here. We're going to say season equals that. Then we're going to say, Stripe payment received for ticket season with UUID. Season UUID. And then we can say season is paid equals true. And again, we can extract all this logic to a proper like helper method, but I just want to make sure that this is actually going to work. Season save. Awesome. So right now, if we go look in the database here, is paid. Oh, right. We got to migrate the database. Art migrate. Cool. Okay. So if we refresh this one more time. Okay. So right now, this season that we've hard coded is paid is set to 0, basically meaning it has not been paid for. And so now if we go to checkout, we're going to check out here. blah, 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 Jamaica. So we don't have to enter a postal code. Beautiful. And if we refresh this, we do not have is paid. What is going on now? Laravel log. Okay. Info context must be type array string given. Okay. So we cannot do that. This needs to be a dot. Okay, so Stripe payment received for ticket season with UUID. So let's DGG. And okay, so just to make sure, okay, so it's still not paid. Okay. And so one last time, this should pay. So after this, we'll write some tests to make sure that this that the event is firing correctly and that it's doing the right stuff. I just want to make sure the flow works because I've never worked with Stripe before. Okay, so if we refresh now, is it paid? It is not. Stripe payment received, yeah. So why is that not happening? Oh, that is annoying. Okay, one more time. I swear we will get this right. Okay, so that. But at least we're not failing. This is just me being dumb. I can handle me being dumb. Not understanding what's going on, that's not okay. Okay, so let's take a look at our log. Stripe payment received, good. If we refresh, is it paid? It is paid. Okay, so we have the happy path, right? Everything from getting from our site to Stripe and then back is done. So now what we want to say is, okay, so we need to make this more dynamic. So what we will do is we will say in our, okay, so we can close the log. That's fine. We'll leave that open for now. Don't need the user open. Don't need the event service provider open. Don't need the webhook received open. What we want is we basically want to replace this with a post. And so in the post, what we're going to say is request ticket season ID. And so what we're going to do is we're basically going to have for our button to basically where you pay, it's going to send a post request to this checkout, which is going to include the ticket season ID in it. And then that's going to send you off to Stripe. And then we'll worry about redirecting you to the correct. Actually, you know what? We can even do our success right here. So we can say success URL is going to be checkout success. How do we want to do this? Okay, so it's going to be a get. And so what I'm thinking about here is if we go, let us do this. Success URL is going to be just the route and it's what? Admin season with the season ID. Yeah. So it's admin season, and the season is the request ticket season ID. And this can just, if you cancel, you're just going to go back to the admin season. Well, yeah, actually, we can just say cancel URL, just delete that. So either way, whether you are successful or you cancel, you're going to go back to the administrator season. But what I would like to do, and this is going to be interesting how we can figure this out, is if it's successful, how we can have a notice, because what's going to happen is like you're going to get bounced back to your admin season immediately from Stripe, but they are the ones that send the webhook, and that webhook may be delayed. And so what's going to happen is because it's asynchronous, there's a chance that the person is going to get back to the admin season, and the season is not going to be actually marked as paid because we haven't received the webhook from Stripe yet. Like theoretically, we might not have received it. So we're going to have a way to basically set it as successful without actually having, or maybe we'll have like some notice saying, please wait while your payment is processed. And then as soon as that goes away, then we can, like, once we receive the correct webhook, we'll get rid of the payment in process thing. And, payment in process, we will get rid of the little message, and then it'll just show that you can edit or create your listing kind of thing. Again, future problems. We'll just worry about this stuff right now. So what do we need to do here? We need to create, on the button on the admin season. So admin season, admin season. So let's see, where is that button? How many picks per round? Email invite. Okay, so it's going to be right around here. So marketplace. Okay, so we want to say list your open slots. So this is going to be, so we want to make this a button because the button is going to need to be inside of a form that can, how are we going to do this? So we're going to say form action equals checkout. Form checkout, yes. Method equals post, yep. We're going to have an input type hidden, and this is going to be the ticket season ID. We're going to close off this form and can delete that. This is going to be type equals submit. Okay, so form checkout, yep. It's going to send the ticket season ID as a value. And so I just want to make sure that we're getting the right information here. So where is the season ID? Does the season ID exist? Yes. Okay, so we do have the season. Okay, so that's what we care about. So list your open slots. So this is going to take you to the checkout, which is going to redirect you to the Stripe checkout page with this ticket season ID as a property in the metadata, and it should kick you back. So let's go like this. Marketplace listings. I'm going to remove that because I don't want that on there at all. And then on the ticket seasons, we are going to, I don't remember if this is the one that I'm on right now or not. So let's just go to Stub Squad and say admin. Zoom in here a bit. So list your open slots. Okay. Page expired. Okay. So let's go like this. Let's put it at Stripe checkout so that we don't need Stripe checkout. And the reason I'm doing this is because I don't want to have to keep adding like more things to the exceptions for the CSRF token verification. So this one, when we put it under Stripe, we've already ignored that entire path, so we don't have to worry about it. So let's go back here, refresh, and try this again. So list your open slots. Okay. So that Jamaica. And this should send us back to the admin page. 404 not found. Okay, so where did it try to send us? Season. Oh, right. Okay, so that is because, okay, so that should not have worked, right? Because we are using the ticket season ID rather than the UUID. Pardon me. So now let's refresh this. So list your open slots. Okay, so it kicks us back here. So right now it's saying list your open slots. If we refresh, list your open slots is still okay. So, so this is the logic here. So we're gonna put the listing is okay. Pardon me. So, is listed on marketplace. Okay, so what we are really checking here is if it's not soft deleted. So what are we saying here? So if season is not season is paid, we want to basically list what we want to do. We want to call this like pay 99 and list your open slots. Okay, so now there's no button, which is good because we're in this last kind of thing here. Because now what we want to say is else. No, there should not be brackets there. Edit your listing. Because in the time that it took us to do that, this should have been marked as paid. So if we go back here and say is paid, and we go here, pay $9.99 and list your open slots. Okay. Okay, card. Okay, edit your listing. So it's obviously already come back. So we can say edit your listing and we're good to go. Okay. Now, that's a lot of logic. Pardon me. I think we need to extract some of this. So refactoring is definitely going to happen here. So Stripe event listen. So I think what we want to do is we want to say, okay, so we've got this checkout session completed. So this is going to happen if we sell anything. Right now, we're only selling these listings on the marketplace, but that's not necessarily the only thing that we are ever going to sell. So I think what we should do is we should say, okay, so if we get this checkout session completed, and if, let's say like is set this, like if we're getting this, ticket season ID, then we know like that this is the ticket season ID or the marketplace listing sale that we're trying to deal with, whatever. So let's say let's copy this, paste that in here, and then we can also save that, and then also we can say this there. Like one of the things you might have seen me do at the beginning was do this update like this update of this method. And so we can basically say mark as paid. And so this method basically just does what we were just looking. Mark as paid. Why is that not? Am I spelling it wrong? Mark as paid. Season mark as paid. Hmm. Yeah, why is it not finding that method? I'm curious if this is an issue with Vim. So let's go to our Stripe event listener. Yeah, why is it not finding that method? Huh, interesting. Because it should be getting first. I'm curious if it's because if it's got the or fail on there. So like it's possible that it won't get the, no. Okay, well, you know, let's just try it. So SQL Ace, I didn't mean to close that. Go to our ticket seasons and we'll go back to 0. Basically, I just want to make sure that when it calls this method, it's actually going to mark it as paid, even though it doesn't think it should. Pay $90.99. Well, that's interesting. Okay, we want that credit card. Okay, and so if we refresh this, okay, so yeah, it is seeing that method. I don't know why the LSP just isn't actually allowing us to do it. So edit your listing, okay, and then we can go in and we can create our listing, one new member, section 202, seats 2, long stairs, great views, sure. Yeah, and that's getting kind of annoying as well. This why it's not finding that let's go take a look at our edit marketplace listing. So value inspect. Now if we go to Livewire, marketplace listing details, season, new members. So it's what's basically happening is it's not actually setting the default. If new members or not new members. If we go to our Livewire settings now, new members is still null. Why is it doing that? Okay, so if the listing exists, blah, blah, blah. I think we're just going to default it to 1. Did not mean to close that. That's fine. Cannot use int as, oh. Okay, so by default, it's just going to be 1, whatever. That's fine. People can change it if they want. 34 grand. Section 202, 1, no, 2 seats. Great view, long walk. Okay, so save your listing. Cool. Marketplace. We have a working marketplace fully from end to end. So now I think before we call this a day, because we're certainly not done, I think we need to add a bunch of tests here. So let us go to here and let's go art make test stripe test. Stripe test. Okay, so I mean this is not going to be a super long thing. So what are the tests we want? So it marks a ticket season as paid if the ticket season ID, the ID in the returned metadata matches in the return metadata from a successful payment matches. Okay. What else do we want to say? Marks the ticket season is paid. Okay. If it, what do we want to say? It, where do we want to redirect to? What do we want to say? It redirects the user to the admin season page after a successful payment, after a successful or canceled payment. It displays a message if the payment was successful. The payment, I'm going to put seems to be successful. We have not received a webhook for it yet. It rejects webhooks that are not signed with the correct secret, right? Because the other thing is, like the webhook endpoint itself is literally open to the world, and so we need to make sure that not just anyone can send like successful webhook calls to it. Like we want to validate that the webhook secret is actually legitimate. And I know that that the package does this for us, but I want to be forward thinking a bit and think about like if we end up going to some other package for some reason outside of Cashier that and we end up using like the same endpoints, that we still have some tests that are testing that kind of thing. Because that's a big security thing for me. I don't want to take any chances. I don't want to accidentally decide one day like, oh, I'm just going to switch out this package for another Stripe package and find out that I've left myself vulnerable, right? So especially because this is dealing with money. So it marks a ticket season as paid if the ID and the return metadata from successful payment matches. So let us do this. We're going to say webhook equals, how do we want, I don't even know how I would go doing this. Webhook received. Can we do a fake? No. We want to dispatch that. Now, so Laravel dispatch event fake. Yeah. Facades. No. Where's the event fake? Okay, so we should say event. Should I just put this in a before each? Event fake. Okay, so we want to say this webhook. So event, yep. New webhook received, yep. And so let's we put data into this event? So the payload is going to be, I think it's what? Let's go like this. So payload equals that. And we're going to say I think it's data object metadata. So we actually need a ticket season here first. So we're going to say season equals ticket season factory create. Yep. Metadata. This actually needs to be wrapped in the brackets. And we're going to say metadata is ticket season ID is the season UID. Okay. Why is that unexpected? Do I not have enough square brackets here? That's kind of annoying that it doesn't format unexpected into file. So what do we got? That one, that one, that one, that one. Oh. Okay, there we go. Let's just make this look a little nicer. Okay, it doesn't want to do that. Fine. So let's say expect season is paid to be false. Yep. Now we want to assert that it is true. Okay, so marks the ticket season as paid. Okay, let's mark these as to do for now. Okay, so where is it failing? Not null constraint failed invite code. Oh, right. Because we need to go like this because we're dealing with ticket seasons. This acting as this user equals user factory create. Yep. Okay, so not null. Why is that failing? Did I remove it out of the factory for some reason? I don't think so. Maybe I did. Yeah, why are these all failing now? Ticket season factory. Like this should all be being created when this season is being created. Ticket observer. Yeah, so the invite code should be being created there. Yeah, I feel like we're missing something here. Ticket season test. Does that test pass? Okay, that test passes. We're just going to pick some random tests here. These all pass. Let's take a look at the before each. Admin. Like this stuff shouldn't matter, but just go like this. Class sports team not found, of course. Yeah, why is the deadline not being set? It's like in this observer, the event service provider, ticket season is calling the ticket season observer. And it should be setting the deadline. So like if the deadline is null, then using the season's start date. What the heck? Assuming that false is true. Okay, well, at least we're getting to a point where it's like actually doing the test and not complaining about other things. So, so webhook received. And we are looking for Stripe event listener. So, oh, right, we have to set the type. Okay, so given that, filtering the false is true, Stripe 38. Okay, so it's not still not doing this. Stripe event listener, object data object metadata ticket season ID. Data object metadata ticket season ID. Okay, so let's just see if we're getting here. Okay, so it's not firing this event like I think it is. Okay, so okay, so hi. Okay, so don't actually need to fake it. Starting with false is true. Okay, so let's see if we're getting into this loop here. We are, okay. finding the season. It is finding the season. Yep. Is paid. Okay, so what I'm thinking about now then is, do we need to say like fresh? Probably. No. This season fresh is paid. Okay, so it's paid. Oh, okay. So it's just a casting issue. Okay, so let's go to ticket season and let's add this as a cast. So is paid is going to be a Boolean. I mean, it says right there is paid. Asserting that true is identical to 1. There we go. Okay, so we have a working test now. Okay, so at least in the happy path, if we get a successful payment event, things are being marked as paid correctly. Okay, so the next thing we want to say is it redirects the user to the admin season page after a successful or canceled payment. Now, in saying this, I don't know if we can actually test for this. And the reason for that is we're basically sending this to the Stripe checkout. And so what we can, I guess we can look at is we can just post to this checkout endpoint and just see what the return value is. So I guess we can say like, let's get rid of to do. And we'll say, yeah, how do we want to do this? We want to say like, this post to Stripe checkout and ticket season ID is going to be this season UUID. And then I really just want to like, is DD, no, we can't DD out that. So let's just go like, for now, we're just going to like go like this. And we're going to say DD response. And this is going to be ugly, like really ugly. But I just want to see what kinds of values we're going to get back. Yeah. So, because yeah, so it's going to be like this data stuff. So redirecting to this, and this is going to be, yeah. I don't know that we're going to be able to actually test what I'm thinking here. I know it's hard to read, but basically it's like it's sending like a redirect to this URL like checkout.stripe.com, blah blah blah. But like the output is just like we're gonna call it random. It's not actually random. Like there is data in there. We just don't have a way to like parse it out. So yeah, I assume it's like publicly, like asymmetrically encrypted with some kind of like Stripe public key or something, so that they can see it and decrypt it and then redirect it back, like redirect the person back to us without someone being able to like intercept it in transit and like change where the redirection goes. So I think for now, yeah. Because yeah, what I wanted to make sure is like people don't go and change this stuff, but I don't know that we're going to be able to do that. So I think for now, we're just going to skip that test. So let's just get rid of that. So it displays a message if the payment seems to be successful, but we have not received a webhook for it yet. So what I would actually like to do now is, so the success URL, we're going to add some more metadata. And what I want to do is I want to say like, actually, I kind of like this. So we're going to say, okay, so what here, okay, I'm going to verbalize what I'm thinking here is we want to have almost two different states, or I guess three. So there's going to be like, is paid is 0, which is basically they are not paid. Is paid is 1 is paid. And then some other field, which is going to be like pending or something like that. And so if like when they initially get redirected back, we're going to mark that pending state as true. And then once we get the webhook, we're going to basically turn the pending state off and turn is paid to true. So we are going to need this checkout success. How do we want to do this? How can we do this without posts? Yeah, I don't even think we're going to be able to do that. So now we can also get rid of this because this was from lemon squeezy stuff. Yeah, that's fine. Those will go away in a second. So, will we be able to do this? I don't know that we can because there's no way for us to set a pending. I mean, we can violate the REST standards and make a GET request change some data, but that's really bad. I think we're just gonna have to leave it here and hope. Well, maybe we just leave this as a to-do for now, and we can come back to it later once we've had a little more experience with the Stripe API. So it rejects webhooks that are not signed with the correct secret. Yep. And so we want to say, yeah, exactly. Post JSON on that. Starting at 500. Okay, so do I have paw installed? Good. Yeah, that's fine. Install. A lot of stuff crashed. Fantastic. Okay. Now I think, yeah, I think this is actually now just, I think we can just install with like Rapid API client. So brew install Rapid API. Rapid API. Yep. Do I know? Okay, you know what? For right now, I'm not even gonna worry about signing in. We're just gonna create a project for now. I'll worry about signing in later. I do have a login somewhere. I just don't remember what it is. So stub squad. Oh wow, stub squad.test / stripe checkout. Isn't it like Stripe webhook actually? Okay, cool. So I was just using the wrong URL actually. Okay, so yeah, so basically what this is saying is we're not passing in like the correct secret, and so it's literally just 404ing. It's basically saying like you don't have access. And I'm curious if in the Cashier docs, if there's a way to like mock it to or fake it out. Mock the actual partially run, blah blah blah. Yeah, we're not going to do that. Okay, so we can't fake out the. I mean, we can dig into the package and see if we can figure out the exact algorithm to figure out like how it's validating those. But I mean, this is fine by me to make sure that it's just we don't know what we're doing, and it's throwing the error that we would expect, which is 403 forbidden. So that's fine for me. Enough, like it's enough validation for me to know that it's generally working. So let's just run our full test suite. Okay, so yeah, there's one test, and I assume this is because we were messing around with the factory that we're just going to go fix. So let's go to ticket season test, and I didn't pay attention what line it was. 155. Okay. Okay, so it has a default deadline of the season start date. Okay, so actually, yeah, let's make that correct. So deadline equals season equals season factory create. Change this to season. Yep. And we'll say by default, this is the season start date. Okay, cool. So now if we go back to our tests one more time, make sure they're all passing. Now we got some new ones. Fantastic. Does not populate games that are in the past. Yeah. Yeah, I think we need to figure out why we need to do all of this all of a sudden. Ticket season factory. So what changed? So those are things I changed. These are things I added. Why is the UUID and the deadline not being set correctly? Hmm. Like it's still using the binds on UUID, generates UUID. Did these stop working or something? So yeah, so by default, the UUID column should be called UUID. It is. It's called UUID, so it should be generating that automatically. I want to get these errors to come back again, I think. Okay, so let's go to ticket season test 242. Okay, so it does not populate games that are in the past. Let's take a look at this. So start. Okay, so I think this is part of the problem at least. Is so here past is considering the start date anything before today, whereas this test is setting the time as like January 1st, 2024. So we want a game in the past and we want a game in the future. Ticket season, create. Yeah, so like when the flow is like the season is created, like the ticket season is created, and then it should be populating the games right here. And it should just say like for each game, we want to make sure that there is a start date and that the start date has to be at least now, if not in the future. So let's do this. So say dump. So we should only see this dump once. We're probably going to see it twice. It's not showing it up at all. That's even weirder. Starting at 0 is identical to 1. So it's not creating any of the games, which is interesting. So it's not getting any games. Okay. I want to go to the Git repo here. I want to take a look at those pull requests that I've been working on for the marketplace, and I want to look at the files, and I want to see what has changed in the ticket season method or class to see what may have changed. Yeah, like literally nothing in here other than just adding a couple of things. So like cascading the deletes. If the things have been deleted, we want to make sure that it's also deleting like the marketplace listing, setting up the relationship to the marketplace listing, and just firing off that event when the season is completed to say the season has been completed, to do things with it. So why is that all of a sudden having issues? Like it's just not creating the games at all, even though we've, in this test, we have a season, we have a game in the past, we have a game in the future. What I want to see is just temporarily hold. Okay. Is it creating the game? Yes. Okay, so that is in the future, yes. So it's seeing none of them. Yeah, like it should be. If it's not finding any games, it should be throwing that exception. It's not throwing that, so I want to see. Still not getting anything. Now, I can't remember. Can I do like this? No. It's getting the right relationship. Okay, it is getting the right relationship. Are there any games attached to the season that it knows about? It is not. Okay, so it's not associating the games to the season correctly. So why is that? Recycle home team season. We go to the game factory. Has anything changed in there? No, There has not been any changes to the game factory whatsoever. So why is it not liking the recycling of the season? That's the entire point of it, is so that you don't have to keep defining it, I thought. So if we say recycle. Yeah, recycle an existing model for relationships. If you have models that share a common relationship with another model, you may use the recycle method to ensure a single instance of the related model is recycled for all of the relationships created by the factory. Okay, so it's seeing them here. It's got 2 games. So the ticket season. Oh, because we're doing this messing around here. Okay, but actually now that we're... Because we're not actually... We were trying that season stuff to kind of get around another issue before. Okay, so that's still fine. That test passes. Okay, so let's see which tests fail still. Okay, all the tests pass. So all that messing around was basically for nothing. Fantastic. Okay, so we have some tests for Stripe. We have our okay, so let's get rid of this payment. This is paid. Set it as 0. Refresh it. Oh, right, because we already have the listing. So because we already posted it. So once it's been paid for, it's already it's always going to show that as kind of like in the priority sequence. It's going to see that there's a listing, so it's not even ever going to check to see if it's been paid. We're just assuming that it has. Pay $9.99, lister open slots. Just one last test to make sure that we haven't broken anything else here. Pay. Edit your listing. Awesome. Okay, well, we have a... Let's go back to our Notion here for a second. So we installed the Laravel Cashier package. We've configured the package to talk to Stripe. We have set up a product. We've gone through the payment flow. We've confirmed that payment is successful. So if we go look at... And what I meant by that was this. If we go to the home, if we go to payments, yeah, all those are successful. So we're good to go there. Notion. And confirm that the user, if sent to Stripe, which they are, is redirected back to our app. That's good. So we basically have a working end-to-end marketplace. At this point, all I'm going to be doing for the next little bit here is just setting up a test environment for one of my QA people to go through and actually run through a couple of examples to make sure that it's redirecting to the right place and stuff. But otherwise, I mean, I am extremely excited that this is working as I hoped. I was not expecting it to go this smoothly, but I mean, this is kind of the benefit of Laravel, is just everything works so awesome, just like so seamless, and yeah, just exactly what you want in a product like this. So yeah, I want to thank you guys for joining. If you haven't already, if you can follow me on YouTube, it's like youtube.com/@nexay_dev. I'm on Twitch at twitch.tv/Nexay, and I'm on Twitter, and I will always call it that, /Nexay. So if you guys can follow me on those platforms, I do go live every Sunday, and then usually a couple of times throughout the week as I come up with other projects and stuff. So thank you guys again for joining me. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one. Later.